Well, excited to welcome in here on Microsoft Teams the head coach at Tulane, Mr. Willie Fritz. Coach, thanks so much for joining us to talk about Eagles' 7th-round draft choice, Patrick Johnson, and share what you feel he's going to bring to Philadelphia, both on and off the field.
Well, I'm very excited for Patrick and his family. He's an awesome young man. Man, the people of Philadelphia are going to love him. He was with me for 4 years. I never had any issues with him. You have what you call a list that a guy misses breakfast or lunch or class or an assignment or, late to a meeting or weightlifting session. There's a lot of things that collegiate student athletes have to do. And he was never on it for 4 years. Just a great young man, great person, and one heck of a football player.
So, Coach, you get hired there in 2016. His freshman year was 2017. So I got to think he was part of that first full year recruiting class that you had, right? At what point did you realize that he was going to be a special talent for you, whether it was in the recruiting process or after he got to campus?
We didn't get on him until late. He's from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Patrick told me this yesterday. He called me. He said last Eagles draft pick from Chattanooga was a pretty decent player named Reggie White. Is that right?
I believe so.
So Patrick, we got on him kind of late. Didn't really have any Division I offers. Had a lot of FCS 1AA offers. He was a very good tight end in high school, along with being a great defensive end. A little bit more of a hand in the ground defensive end and a three-point stance. We got him in, and this was kind of a rebuild type program here at Tulane. So we had a lot of true freshmen who were able to come in and play for us. And Patrick actually started some as a true freshman. He played against Ohio State and Oklahoma and some teams like that, and and was really playing inside, against offensive guards and tackles. His last couple of years, we moved him to the outside edge of offensive tackles, inside half of the tight end, and he just did an excellent job as an edge rusher. He's the all-time leading sack leader in school history. He has a knack for using his hands and feet and in conjunction with each other and timing up his hand strike on the offensive lineman. Then we started dropping him into space a little bit. He started playing underneath, in a two shell look, a three deep type look, running with the back out of the backfield. We even matched him up on guys out on the perimeter. So he's an excellent athlete. I think his pro day measurables were just incredible. I think he ran a 4.53, at around 250 pounds. So I'm looking forward for Eagle fans to see what he can do. I also think he's going to be good in the kicking game. I didn't play him as much in the kicking game because he played almost every snap for us on defense, but he'll be able to play on the punt return, kickoff return. He could be a tight end wing on extra point field goals. So just a great all-around player.
Coach, I was really glad that you brought up what he was able to do for you guys moving in reverse, playing in coverage, because I think a lot of Eagles fans say, hey, all-time leading sack artist, this is a guy that can get after the quarterback. The Eagles announce him as a linebacker, so they think of it as a position switch, but it's something that you guys had him doing in your various zone concepts.
Yeah, I'd sometimes get upset when we dropped him too much. Wanted him to get his ears back and go, but and sometimes he had to match the number 3 person in the offensive set. He's a smart football player. I just think the Eagles got a steal. Patrick's pumped about all he's been saying is "Fly Eagles fly," but I was just a little bit frustrated because I thought he would have been picked a lot earlier. But it doesn't matter where you get picked; it's how you end up. And I think he's got an opportunity to have a great career there in Philadelphia.
Coach, when you talk about pass rushers, at his size, 6'2", you mentioned around 250 pounds, a little bit on the smaller end. When you have a guy that had that level of production, I think it speaks to just a guy that just has a knack for getting after the quarterback. He's never behind the passer. He's always found a way to get from A to B. What was that development like for him, and how did you see him grow in terms of being able to win with his hands at the top of the rush and be able to string moves together and get home for a sack?
Yeah, I had a couple of really good. He worked with a couple of great defensive line coaches. Kevin Peoples, he had his first 3 years. He's now the defensive line coach at Indiana. And then Byron Dawson, Coach Patrick this last year. Both of them did a sensational job of teaching them pro techniques. We've got access to this pro team here in town that we get to talk to a lot of their players. A lot of their players come over here and work out. I've got some guys in the NFL that play on the defensive line that come back and train here at Tulane. I know they work with Patrick quite a bit. So just, he got a spin move in his arsenal that he picked up here the last couple of years, but it's just that strike timing with his hands on the hands of the offensive tackle that he was just so good at. And he almost probably had another 10 sacks in his career. He had the guy, within his clutches. It's hard to get a sack in collegiate football. It's hard to get a sack in the NFL. Those quarterbacks do a nice job having that internal clock and getting rid of the ball just a split second before you arrive. But he's certainly put pressure on guys. His whole career. He's also excellent against the run. Fullbacks kicking him out, guards pulling him and kicking him out. We call it hard jointing a guy where you're near foot, near shoulder, near arm, or making that hole as small as a phone booth. Wrong shouldering guys, blowing it up, not giving a running lane for the running back. So, he's not just a one-dimensional guy who's good, against when the guy pass sets on him. He's great against all run plays too.
I think, Coach, the last question I've got for you is just about Patrick as a leader and what he was like in the locker room with those guys. What did you see from him in terms of his ability to be able to rally the troops and get everybody going defensively?
Well, he's just a great young man. I just, here at Tulane, we got to have true student athletes here. It's a hard school to get into. He's already graduated, so we're proud of him being able to do that in 3.5 years. But he's just a guy that everybody listened to. He's always in a good mood. I always tell my coaches, find guys that have had a great 18 years, because we'll do a great job with them. If they've had a tough 18 years, it's hard to get them to turn in the right direction. But his parents did an awesome job with him, and I can't say enough great things about him. He's an awesome young man.
Well, Coach Fritz, thanks so much for joining us here via Microsoft Teams and sharing some more information about Patrick Johnson. Stay safe, stay healthy. Best of luck for you guys this season.
You betcha. Thank you. Roll Wave.